world coins interest you at all, then the Central States World Coins auction would have been a delight indeed, as over $6 million in rare coins were auctioned off. To kick things off, let's head to Egypt, as an impressive gold 500 Piastres coin from 1938 is presented. This large-sized gold coin was minted to commemorate the royal wedding between King Farouk and Queen Farida in 1938. Farouk was, as I'm sure you're already aware, himself a coin collector of some renown, amassing an impressive collection that included the only 1933 double eagle that was today legal to own. This coin was graded by PCGS as Proof 62 and sold for $4,440 at auction. A beautifully rendered medal from Poland is next in line, astonishingly dated from 1642. This high-relief masterpiece was created to commemorate the Treaty of Sztumska, which brought a lasting peace of about 27 odd years between the Swedish Empire and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth after an almost 30-year period of conflict. The obverse design features the allegorical figures representing faith and piety shaking hands, while the reverse in turn depicts peace and justice in a familiar embrace. NGC authenticated the medal as MS61, and at the auction it managed to raise $3,120. Victorian-era coinage, especially the silver denominations, managed to hold a certain mystique to them that has been practically impossible to replicate. Few coins, however, managed to achieve this excellence in execution to such an outstanding degree as the Victorian Gothic crown. The Queen is here depicted crowned with the national symbols and flowers of England, Scotland, Ireland, and not only on full display on the reverse, but also embroidered on her dress details, asserting her as the undisputed ruler of a truly united kingdom of Great Britain. Graded as NGC Proof 62, the coin garnered $6,600 at auction. To Argentina our attention now turns, and the rather strange tale of the Tierra del Fuego Popper coins. Minted by Julius Popper, a Romanian-born engineer who struck it rich during the Tierra del Fuego gold rush in Argentina in the late 19th century. Called a modern-day conquistador by some, he was a ruthless and very controversial figure at best. He was later actually found supposedly poisoned in his room, with the exact circumstances of his demise remaining largely unsolved to this day. These gold coins were minted in both 1 and 5 gram versions, with the 5 gram being the significantly scarcer, with perhaps fewer than 5 examples left surviving today. Graded by NGC as MS62 and sold for $24,000. Then we have one of the most exquisite and sought-after pattern crowns in the entire British numismatic catalogue, the 1663 petition crowns, in this case specifically the Reddite crown. The story of these coins began nearly 20 years prior with the English Civil War, that ultimately led to the abolition of the monarchy and the creation of the Commonwealth under Oliver Cromwell and the execution of Charles I. Amidst this absolute chaos, a young engraver by the name of Thomas Simon was appointed as chief engraver at the Tower Mint in London in 1648. He was exceptionally talented and created, amongst other notable rarities, the Oliver Cromwell portrait coins, which are very highly prized by collectors today. Then, following the Restoration in around 1660, the return of King Charles II as king and the reinstatement of the monarchy, Simon was probably largely due to his service to the Commonwealth and anti-royalist movement, replaced as chief engraver, something that he took as a personal affront and took it upon himself to create these petition crowns to convince the king to reinstate him in his former position. 3 varieties in total were created with different edge inscriptions on each. This particular coin is the Reddite crown that states in Latin words to the effect of "render unto Caesar that which is truly and rightfully belonging to Caesar." It also continues to reference the Civil War and the Restoration using imagery of a sun emerging from behind storm clouds. Graded by PCGS as proof 35, the coin sold at auction for $55,200. From there, we view a rare 5 guinea coin from the very late on in the very short rule of James II of England. Now, James II is today probably best remembered for being deposed during the Glorious Revolution of 1688. Interestingly, looking at a portraiture that appears on this particular coin, it is distinctly imperial in nature, not unlike that of some of the earlier designs of his cousin, Louis XIV of France. James's belief in royal absolutism, in other words, the divine right of a king to rule in absolute terms, along with issues over religious intolerance, led to his deposition and eventual exile to France, where he lived out the remaining of his life as a dependent of the French state. Following his exile, the English Bill of Rights was adopted into law in 1689, and the primacy of Parliament over the crown was asserted into law, a status quo which remains to this very day. The coin here was graded by NGC as MS60 and managed to raise $102,000 at auction. So if you have an interest in British hammered gold coins, or anyone specializing in coins of Elizabeth I is no doubt already aware, at least to some degree, with the gold ship Ryal of 15 shillings, an exceedingly rare issue of a peculiar denomination to boot, struck between 1584 and 1586. The coin is a distinctly medieval appearance to it, replete with Lombardic text surrounding a portrait of Elizabeth that rather brings to mind more her Plantagenet forebearers than the Tudor Queen herself, while the ship motif illustrates England's emerging naval supremacy over that particular period. PCGS graded the coin here as MS64, and it managed to raise $228,000 at auction. And then we have a coin which truly requires little introduction, if any at all, especially to long-time viewers of this channel who by now are no doubt aware of my particular affinity for this coin. The original 1839 gold Una and the Lion quintuple sovereign, struck to celebrate the commencement of Queen Victoria's reign, a coin conceived by the brilliance of William Wyon, the same man responsible for creating the 1818 Grace's crown and the equally popular but by far more obtainable Victorian Gothic crown featured earlier. The Una and the Lion has proven so eternally popular that the Royal Mint indeed felt it necessary to reissue the coin in 2019, graded here by PCGS as MS62 Cameo, and it was sold for $300,000. As the first, and thus far the only, British monarch to ever be executed, the coins of Charles I will inevitably hold at least some fascination for that fact alone. However, the fact that this triple unite issues have become some of the most sought after and iconic British coins that stands as a testament to it being more than just simple morbid curiosity. During the English Civil War, both the Royalists and Parliamentarians, or Cavaliers and Roundheads, as they were known, understood the importance of underpinning the stability of everyday economy. As a result, both sides continued to mint coins throughout the war. However, Charles I took it one step further and saw the opportunity to use these coins as a form of propaganda. While the quality of the coins minted by the parliamentarians remained generally poor, with only scattered milled coinage appearing here or there. The king instead decided to step up his game. Comparing this coin with a typical example from before the Civil War period, you can clearly see the improvement in both production and design quality. Of course, comparing a triple unite with a shilling isn't exactly apples to apples, but I think the point stands regardless. And then of course there's the blatantly propagandist abbreviated inclusion of Charles's Wellington Declaration on the coin itself, where he proclaimed to uphold the Protestant religion, the laws of England, and the liberty of Parliament. And then his portrait, where he wields both a sword and an olive branch, symbols of both war and peace. Graded by NGC as MS62+, the coin sold at auction for $360,000. Subscribe to WNN and activate notifications with the bell icon to know when new videos are released. For the World Numismatic News, I am Numisman saying thank you for watching, stay safe, keep collecting, and have a great day.